Reviews. You're listening to the Friday Frothy. What a fantastic show.
G'day guys, my name's Jeff.
I'm Alison.
We're currently at Bathurst Mt Panorama. Before we came here, we couldn't find anything online, anything up to date anyway, about camping, where you stay, electricity, toilets, showers, what to bring, all that sort of crap. So we're going to start going through and giving you some information of how it all works and what's the best things to do. Unfortunately, it's 2022, we're just after COVID. It's the first big race back, and it's wet. It's probably one of the wettest races they've had for a long time, so we're lucky enough to see Bathurst in its glory with all the mud in the campgrounds. There's about 7 or 8 different campgrounds that you can stay at, from the top of the hill, or top of the mountain, all the way down to where we are, down at the orchard. You can see in the background with all the camping. So we'll give you some more information soon.
The following video details our experience camping at the orchard at Mount Panorama during the 2022 Bathurst 1000. The views and information in this video are ours, and we understand the unique perspectives that others, having camped at areas around the track, have. We hope that the information contained in this video may entertain or help those hoping to do the same trip. Please ask questions or let us know how you went in 22 using the comment section.
Well, hi guys, my name's Jeff. I'm from the Friday Frothy, and
I'm Ali, and I am from Candid Tourists.
And guys, if you want to keep an eye on what's happening with the trip to Bathurst, go over to Candid Tourists and follow the links there, because Al's doing up videos of our whole trip. All the
So
way to
segments of the
Bathurst.
trip. I've put it into a series for each, part of the way we travelled up there. So I think the first one's up to Devonport. We stayed the night, and then Devonport through to Albury through to Bathurst, and then we
What happened?
during Bathurst.
Yep.
And then following Bathurst, we had a bit of a trip after that too. So if you're interested, make sure you pop on over to the channel, or you're on the channel now.
Yeah, well, that is
If
true.
you're interested.
That is true. Like and share. Guys, as you can see...
subscribe. If you subscribe, that way, new videos come out.
Roger that. I was just going to say, we're obviously back home. We're back here in Hobart, Tasmania, where we live. Interesting times at Bathurst, being so wet. It's 2022, if you're watching this in years to come, and we experienced Bathurst for the first time at its glory, didn't we?
We experienced it all right. We certainly did.
When they say wear mud gumboots to Bathurst, take gumboots to Bathurst. It's a serious thing. It's a serious thing. And just to let you know, I said it in the intro while we were walking through Bathurst, that we tried to find information, first timers, weren't we? And we didn't know what was going to go on, what was going to happen, what the atmosphere was going to be like.
We actually got onto a Facebook site, because right before we left, well, it was actually a couple of months before we left, we hooked into a Facebook site called Bathurst Campers.
Yeah.
And we were, we're not listening, we were reading all the different posts that were put onto Facebook Campers.
It's a good hint to get onto it.
No, we were reading all the posts that were on Bathurst Campers, and there was a lot of interesting mixed information there, and there were people who were being really helpful, and some people maybe that weren't being very helpful. There was a lot of questions unanswered, and there were a lot of questions that were excellently answered. So this is part of the reason why we wanted to put this together.
So hopefully, if Bathurst is on your bucket list, this is going to help you. And we're going to talk about all these items, and then we're going to throw some footage up as well of where we've been and what we've done that link into these things that we're talking about. So let's just get going now. Let's start it off. I'm gonna try and put it in order of getting there, the campsite, to all the way to leaving, and in between. Yeah.
Yep. Let's do this. Let's do it.
Purchase.
Hang on.
Oh.
I need my energy up for this one, I think.
Got to have a frothy. Getting a campsite for Bathurst is the first thing you've got to do. And
if you're planning on camping there.
Yeah. Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, which is what we're talking about. So,
And the different campsites.
we didn't access the top of the mountain, so that's the only thing we can't talk about. When you go onto the Supercars site, you actually go on there. Every year they have vacant sites to purchase, and pretty much if you've already got a site like we have, we get first preference now of that site if we want to go next year. So that's our site now. If we continue to go year after year after year, we will maintain that site and that'll be ours. Yep. If we don't, it gets given up and someone else can then buy it. You go onto V8 Supercars, into camping, and then they'll have all the available campsites that you're allowed to buy. I can't remember, Al. I think it was, as I said, it's 2022. I'm pretty sure it was around $495 per site. And that was for a 7x7 metre site.
You pay for the size as well. So the 7x7 metre site, I think, cost us about $495.
But that's for the week.
That's for the week.
That's for the week. We got there on Tuesday and we left on the Monday. So is that exy? I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it was all right.
No, I don't think so. I think you've got facilities, which we'll talk about later, that you've got access to. Those things cost money, and that's fair enough. I mean, it would comparable to a caravan park. You're paying $50 a night, and you do that for 5 nights.
Yep.
It's double that. But
the other thing that happens, Al, is once you've paid for your ticket or for your camping, Supercars will end up, or Ticketek will end up sending you a sticker which goes on your car, which is really hard to get off.
Yeah, when the sticker goes on, it goes on the left-hand side of your vehicle.
Well, it doesn't have to. It can be on either.
Well, it's just so they can easily... They really didn't. But as you drive through, it's accessed by the people who are at the gate and saves them sort of wandering around your car. It came off.
It's a big sticker.
Easy as.
And basically that's your ticket to get your car into the campsite. And it's got your details on there and your campsite number and all that sort of stuff, so they can just see it when you drive in.
So the campsites themselves, so if you are thinking about going into Bathurst, you can't actually go on now. It's October now, end of October. You can't go in now and start paying for your campsites, because what will happen is early next year, they will send out some information to all the people who had camped there in 2022.
Yep.
They'll find out how many campsites they have vacant, which they will then offer on. And for those that want to return to Bathurst, they obviously get first dibs, like Jeff said.
Yep.
And that generally happens around, it's around March, around that time of the year, from what I could tell on what people were saying on Facebook. But just keep checking. Like from about March on, just keep going into the site and checking if you are wanting to camp at Bathurst.
Yep.
And for those of you that have already camped, you'll receive some information anyway. It'll come straight to you.
Talk about the campsite, Sal. We'll put some pictures up now of our site. We chose the Orchard B, and the reason for that is because we wanted a powered site. Very limited powered sites. I think there's Orchard B and the motorhomes. I'm pretty sure, maybe some paddock. I can't be sure, guys, but we wanted the powered site, and that's why it cost a little bit extra, $495. Well worth it for us though, because we used it a lot and all the time.
Well, you did. And Jeff's got a machine that he has to plug in at night time.
It keeps me alive.
Him alive. So we kind of really needed the power there.
The lady
on the battery.
The lady on the Spirit of Tasmania called it an anti-snore device.
Yes, she
did. There you go.
It wasn't quite that.
There you go. It's a CPAP machine, guys, to keep me breathing at night time. But so I wanted power, and very, very limited on sites for power, so you've got to choose that. Another big question, Al, is water.
Well, water was another really interesting one that came up quite a lot in the Facebook group as well. Water, we took our own in. We had our own 20-litre drums. We filled up a couple of those and took that in with us. We also had some water in the van itself that we could access. And our drinking water, we took bottles of that, or the Mount Franklin boxes that you get.
Lots of drinking water.
The only access, there aren't taps everywhere. There's scattered. A couple. There's scattered ones.
Yeah.
So you might have one that's sort of up near an amenities block, and then there might be another random one near a fence somewhere. So there are taps that you can go to, and the person who was camping next to us would often go with his container, and he'd go and collect that up.
Yep.
How sanitary they are in the conditions that we camped in, that's questionable. But water's water coming out. If you're only using it for
washing up, and
washing
the mud off your feet and off your face and off your arms and legs.
I'd be a bit wary about using it for drinking water, but for general camping kind of washing up, scrubbing, that kind of thing.
So don't think the campsite is a caravan park, because it's not. It is, some are raised, some are level, some are flat, some are you've got to drive up to try and get into them. There is no plug-in water.
No.
Most campsites, as I said, no electricity. It's pretty. It's a farm.
Some campers use their they have grey water tanks. I saw a hell of a lot of other caravans that just had their hose.
The amount of rain that we got, it didn't really matter what was going on.
No, but
really.
You know, they were the things that people asked. You know, do you have to take that away? And from
Yep.
what I could see, it was just, you know, whatever basically you had there.
Yep.
We didn't use the grey water we really didn't use it a lot at all.
We just didn't eat.
In the van.
And we'll get to this shortly on the weather conditions and stuff like that. But just to let you know, the roads in and around the campsite, some of them are bitumen, but most of them are just compacted dirt.
Yeah,
Nah, they're gone. Dead, buried.
and
that dirt turns to mud really quickly.
It's that real fine, it's sort of like a dust. It kind of comes off. When it's dry, it's really, really hard. As soon as the water gets to it, it's that real slippery.
Yep. Arriving at Bathurst, we decided to get there early. Tuesday, wasn't it?
Well, the Orchard Beach campsite is open from 9. It was open 9 a.m.
Tuesday morning. Where all the McPhillamy and Solomon Reed and everything, they're all open on the Sunday, I think.
Were they?
Yeah, you can get in early.
I think you can get in a little bit early, it depends.
Yeah.
But our particular site was open on the Tuesday. So we
were going to get there on Wednesday.
We were going to get there on Wednesday, but then we had a little check of the weather report and we rushed our trip from Albury through to Bathurst. We were going to break it up with another night stay somewhere.
Yep.
And we did that because we didn't want to arrive on the Wednesday because we knew there was going to be some rain.
And also the fact that there was a lot of flooding going on. So we didn't know if we were going to get diverted to different places and things like that. So
and no one likes to set up their camp in the rain, and that's what we avoided, and we did that really well. It's a beautiful sunny day when we got there, and we set up and we had
the lineup. Tuesday's
lineup was...
Were there 3 cars in front of us?
What time did we get there?
11, 12, 1, 2, I don't know, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
Was it 2 o'clock?
I think so. It was in the afternoon.
I'll check the video.
Because it was a big drive. But the lineup wasn't bad. And most days it wasn't too bad. It's incredible how quickly they get them in. And a lot of people will say, well, we can take you through this process now of what you can take, what you can't take, and the procedure, you know, what they're like. Yeah. And it was completely different to what we expected. We were expecting to open everything up, pull everything out, go through the car. How much grog have you got? Oh. So 2022, what you could take is 1 carton of beer.
We haven't even got to go in. You're jumping ahead too much.
Am I?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about what we can take.
So when we got there, we drove up to the gate. It was just Jeff and I in our vehicle, and obviously we had a couple behind us that were joining us.
Corey Ange, yep.
And the very first thing they do is check your ticket. So you need to have a ticket to get into the event.
Yes.
And you also need to have your camp booking, stickers as well. They check all of that, and then they come around and they give you a little bracelet. Now this is a lockable bracelet. They say don't put it on too tight enough that it's not going to slip off, but not too tight that it's going to strangle your wrist, because it's a bit annoying to have to try and get another one. And that is basically the key to everything. Yeah. Having that on your wrist, so you don't have to show any of your other passes unless, of course, you're going into the paddock.
Yep.
That
was the only time.
And you can have that on your phone and have it scanned, or you could take your ticket with you if you had a lanyard or something. That'd be fine.
Paddock is the pits. Yep. And we'll cover that soon.
And getting in and out of the orchard there was no one really checking. They were just checking your wristband, and that was basically it.
Yeah. So that was quite easy. When we got to the checkpoint, the girl was pretty new, and I think your attitude is how you get through. If you're in a crappy mood,
dude, you want to step outside? You want to step outside?
And you're not nice to them, they're going to be blunt with you and check over. Obviously, we were friendly and first time there.
Yeah, I mean, there'd been a couple of changes. I think in the past they were looking for things like axes and weapons and all sorts of stuff. So it must have been pretty bad up there at some point. But we basically got asked if we had some alcohol in the back, which we did.
Yep.
Jeff got out,
opened the boot,
showed them, said this is what we've got. It was all fine. Away you go.
And made it easy. You know, like it was sitting there. I hadn't even put it in the esky. It was just sitting there. There's our 2 boxes of grog. Have you got any firearms? No. Have you got any of this? No. You're good to go.
Yeah.
But, and we'll get onto this in a second, how do we find our campsite? Oh, I don't know.